Bonjour à tous. Welcome back to Z French Language Academy. In today's lesson, we are going to dive into the present tense in French known as le présent. By the end of this lesson, you'll know what le présent is, when to use it, and how to conjugate regular verbs in the present tense. Let's get started. What is le présent? Le présent is the French present tense. It is used to describe actions that are currently happening. Habitual actions, general truths, or future events that are certain. Just like in English, we use the present tense to talk about what is happening right now or what we do regularly. When to use le présent? Understanding when to use le présent is essential for clear and effective communication. Let's break it down with simple examples. Use le présent to describe actions that are happening right now, at this very moment. Imagine you're talking to a friend on the phone and you want to tell them what you're doing right now. Picture yourself sitting at the dining table with a plate of food. You're in the middle of eating. So use the present tense to describe this action. Say, je mange. I am eating. Use le présent to talk about actions that happen regularly, like daily routines or habits. Think about something that you do every day, like brushing your teeth or going to school. Imagine your daily routine. Every morning, you wake up and go to school. This habitual action is described using the present tense. Say, nous allons à l'école tous les jours. We go to school every day. Use le présent for statements that are always true, such as scientific facts or universally accepted truths. Consider a fact that doesn't change over time, like the natural behavior of the sun. Picture the sunrise. No matter where you are in the world, the sun always rises in the east. This general truth is expressed in the present tense. Say, le soleil se lève à l'est. The sun rises in the east. Use le présent to describe future events that are planned or certain to happen. This usage is similar to how we use the present tense in English to talk about the near future. Think about a planned trip or an appointment you have tomorrow. Imagine you have packed your bags and are ready to go on a trip tomorrow. You're sure this event will happen, so use the present tense to describe it. Say, demain, je pars en voyage. Tomorrow, I leave on a trip. Let's do a recap with examples. For current action, say, je mange. I am eating. For habitual action, the example we used is, nous allons à l'école tous les jours. We go to school every day. Under general truths, le soleil se lève à l'est. The sun rises in the east. Certain future event, demain, je pars en voyage. Tomorrow, I leave on a trip. By using these examples and visuals, you can see how le présent is used in various contexts to describe the actions and truths. Remember, practice makes perfect. The more you use the present tense in different situations, the more natural it will become. Keep practicing and you'll master le présent in no time. Now let's talk about how to conjugate any verb. In English, verbs change based on the subject and tense. For example, walk becomes walks, walking, or walked. Similarly, in French, verbs are conjugated to match the subject and tense. Every verb consists of a stem and an ending. The stem is the part of the verb that carries the meaning, whereas ending is the part of the verb that changes to indicate tense, mood, and person. Let's proceed with the conjugation process steps. First, identify the verb's infinitive form. Example, parler, to speak. Remove the infinitive ending, either be er, ir, or re, to find the stem. So for the verb parler, er is the ending which when we remove are left with the stem parle. Then add the appropriate endings based on the tense and subject pronoun. For example, for the subject pronoun je, the ending is e, so je parle means I speak. Now, how to conjugate le présent? In French, regular verbs are grouped into three categories based on their infinitive endings: er, ir, and re. Each group has its own set of endings for the present tense. Understanding these endings is crucial because it allows us to conjugate verbs currently based on the subject pronoun. However, instead of diving into all these different endings for each group, we'll keep it simple for now. In this video, we are going to focus specifically on regular ER verb conjugation. Regular ER verbs are the most common types in the French, and mastering their conjugation will give you a strong foundation in the French grammar. So, how do we conjugate regular ER verbs? Here, we'll use the verb parler, to speak, as an example of a regular ER verb to learn how conjugation is done for each pronoun. Now let's take a closer look. First, we must understand that the structure of the verb parler, and as we have already discussed, in French, verbs are made of two parts, the stem and the ending. For regular ER verbs, the ending is ER. To conjugate parler in the present tense, we will follow these steps. First, identify the stem. To find the stem of the parler, we remove the ending er, so the stem of the parler is parle. Then we're going to add the present tense endings. First, let's learn what are the endings for the present tense for regular ER verbs. So for regular ER verbs, we add specific endings to the stem based on the subject pronoun. Note that these endings remain same irrespective of the verb as long as it is from the group of regular ER verbs. So for regular ER verbs, we add specific endings to the stem based on the subject pronoun. The endings are as follows. For je, it's e. For tu, it's es. For il, elle, on, it's e. For nous, it's ons. For vous, it's ez. And finally, for il and el plural, it's ent. Now let's apply these endings to the stem parle to conjugate parler in the present tense. Here, we add e to the stem parle, making it parle. This means I speak. For the pronoun tu, we add es to the stem, making it parle. This means you speak. For il, elle, and on, we again add e, making it parle. This means he speaks, she speaks, or one speaks. For nous, we add ons to the stem, making it parlons. This means we speak. For vous, we add ez to the stem, making it parler. This means you speak. The formal or plural. For il and elle, we add ent to the stem, making it parle. This means they speak. Now, the key points to remember here is, notice that although the endings for je, tu, il, elle, on, and the plural il, elle are different, the pronunciation of parle, 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 and parle is the same. This is a common feature in French conjugation. However, the endings of O and S and the EZ for nous and vous respectively have distinct pronunciations, making them easy to identify when speaking. Let's use parler in a few example sentences to see how it works in the context. First, we have Je parle français. I speak French. Then we have Tu parles anglais. You speak English. Il parle espagnol. He speaks Spanish. Nous parlons allemand. We speak German. Vous parlez italien. You speak Italian. Elle parle chinois. They speak Chinese. By practicing these conjugations and using them in sentences, you'll become more comfortable with using regular ER verbs in the present tense. Keep practicing and soon it will become second nature. As we wrap up our lesson, let's summarize the key points we've covered today. These takeaway points will help you reinforce what we've learned about the present tense and ensure you have a solid understanding moving forward. Le présent is used to describe current actions, habitual actions, general truths, and certain future events. To conjugate a verb in le présent, identify the verb stem and add the appropriate endings based on the subject pronoun. Regular verbs are categorized into three groups: ER, IR, and RE, each with its own set of endings. Practice conjugating verbs and using them in sentences to become more comfortable with le présent. That's it for today's lesson on le présent. Keep practicing and soon you'll be able to use the present tense with confidence. Merci d'avoir regardé. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more lessons from Z French Language Academy. And if you want to learn how to use French regular verbs in everyday life, check out our story video by clicking the card above. Join Alice and Pierre on their daily adventures and see how these verbs come to life in practical situations. Don't miss it. À bientôt!